Okay, guys, so we are live again. This is the third interview that I'm holding today. It has been amazing. I had the first interview with someone who used to be a pastor, but now he is doing amazing in the business that he's doing. I had the second interview with a woman who has done 1,100 copies of her book as an educator. She wrote the book, a story book for kids. Now I'm interviewing an amazing woman who has written 4 books to my knowledge, and the books have been doing amazing. Between August 2020 till now, she has done more than let me count 10,000 copies of her book. In to my knowledge, I think she must have done beyond that. As at the time I had
Yeah,
this information was about 2 3 months ago, so I believe she has done
yeah.
more than that. So we are glad to have Elsie here. Elsie Dennis, your last name, I don't want to moderate because I'm Igbo. So I want to give all respect, especially to see that you're also older than me. I don't want to murder that name, so I can only call you Elsie Dennis, right? So,
Yeah.
welcome to this conversation that we are having this afternoon. I'm glad that we are having this conversation. I'm really, really, really excited. Okay, so I've put out there content concerning you and the things that you do.
Yeah.
But we want to hear from you. Maybe there are other things that we need to know about you apart from the things that I put out. So, guys, if you're joining right now, please put your name in the comment section. Let's know where you are tuning in from. If you're tuning in from India, Pakistan, anywhere around the world, please put in the comment section. Let's know where you are tuning in from as we begin to go into this conversation. So, Madam Elsie, please tell us. Maybe you start from pronouncing your name accurately, so that we can understand. All right,
Yeah.
and tell us about your journey, about yourself, and who you are, so that maybe the things that I don't know, there are some other things that we may be doing in your life that I don't know that you wish to share with the public here. Please go ahead
Well,
and share with us.
all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Coach. We call you the Don, and it's not for. It's a name well earned. You know, people give themselves all kinds of titles, but truly, you're the Don of marketing. Not even of not just book marketing. Mr. Macaroni will say you are doing well. Okay, so starting
Thank you,
starting with
Ma.
my name. Actually, it's okay to call me Elsie Dennis because when I write as Elsie O Dennis. That's my pen name. There's a history behind that, which maybe we'll share. But my surname is Ogenekaru. Ogenekaru. It is 3 syllables or 3 or 4 syllables. And then, quick one, I almost didn't marry my husband because of that name. I told him, I said, the name is too long. Because as a single girl, I had a very nice,
I get.
funky name, and then I had to now become Ogene something, but it's fine. So I am Mrs. Elsie Dennis Ogene Caro. I am a writer, a
Wow, amazing.
publisher.
Good to have.
Yeah, hmm I'm a writer, public speaker, publisher, consultant, wife, mother, trader, farmer, and a lot of other things. Coach, I'm sure you didn't
Wow.
know, but I'm a farmer. I farm fish. So
Oh, wow. I
so
didn't
I
know
have
that.
I have fish.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, I have I have fish farms. I breed fish. We've been doing that since 20 on a consistent basis since 2014. But I think I actually started around 2009, 2008 thereabouts. But so we breed fish, we smoke fish for sale and all of that. So yeah, that's the part of me you probably didn't
Wow.
know. hmm
I
I
didn't know
have
that.
five.
I'm happy.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Go
I have
ahead.
five. I have 5 children. My first son is a musician. He's a music producer. He's a singer and everything in the music space, doing quite well. I have 2 daughters. Both of them model on the side. One has won a beauty contest before but now she's more in the medical space. She studied something in the School of Basic Medical Sciences. So she works in a hospital, and then I have two other children in the university, and
Wow.
my baby just finished WAEC. So you
Wow,
don't stay
Ma,
with a job.
you know
You
the
don't stay
small
with
thing.
a job Christmas.
You're a veteran. I need to pay homage because my first son is just 9 years old. So that's to tell you. Meanwhile, I already have
Don't
people.
worry, you will
Yeah.
get there.
I need to pay my respects to you for all that.
Yes,
And
yes,
the fact that you do farming and at the same time you do writing, it's a
yeah,
beautiful thing because a lot of people think that those who write are I mean, they are like special beings. You know, when we talk about authoring books or writing books,
yeah.
they think that we were thrown down from another planet or from heaven to specifically come to the earth with the writing genes. You know, but today
Mm.
I have interviewed a man who used to be a pastor, very active in
Mhm,
pastoring, but he's no longer pastoring like that. You know, now,
mm,
and he's doing amazing in his business and he writes. And anyway, the second person that I interviewed today is an educationist. It's a
mhm,
given that she
mm,
should author books. But for you, I don't think you have a background in any of those. Maybe you are not in the educational line. I don't know, but you do a business.
no.
You have you see you do fish farming and you smoke fish and all that, and you have
Mhm,
also authored books. That's
yeah,
amazing. And I believe that those
yeah.
who are listening right now will start to have a rethink in their minds to begin to
Mhm,
understand the fact that you don't need to have special genes or
mhm.
special abilities to be able to author books. You know,
Oh,
I like that.
definitely.
I
Mm,
like that. Thank you
yeah.
very much for that introduction of
Mm,
yourself. So the next question I want to ask is, what made you to start authoring books? We want to know because there are different reasons for authoring books. Um, with the pastor, he said something. Ik said something that he wanted to prove to himself that he could author a book and the book will sell. That was why he started writing books. There are so many individuals who have
yeah,
different reasons. So we want to
yeah.
know, why did you start authoring books?
So my own is very interesting. My answer may be a bit long, so indulge me.
Go
You
ahead,
know,
man.
when they say there are some people who say that from when they are young, all they wanted to do was to be doctor or lawyer or this or that. And then when you listen to some people in the motivational, inspirational space, they say, oh, find your purpose, do this, do that. So
Mm.
I think that I believe that I was born to write. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Mm.
my Twitter name actually, okay, no, there's no Twitter in Nigeria.
Ah,
Coach, please don't quote me. My
ah.
Instagram name is my Instagram name is Born to Write Well. And it's a
Wow.
name I gave to myself at the point where I realized that this was my purpose. So a bit of background,
Mm.
I didn't start life as a farmer or as a writer, but I have been writing for a very long time. I wrote my first book when I was in primary 5 or primary 6. That was in 1978, I think. I grew up around books. My dad loved books, so there were always a lot of books in the house. And then in primary school, I was a member of the Warri Library then. There was a very good library. I loved reading. And then I was very shy as a child. I was shy. In fact, to the point of being timid, I was so shy. But there were a lot of thoughts
Mm.
in my head. I was always reading, I was always thinking. And so I would write books and I would write stories that were intended for only me. And sometimes I
Mm.
would write spin offs from the stories that I was reading. But when I grew up, when I became an adult and I started working, I novels and books were not the thing for me. But incidentally, after school, my first job was as a newspaper reporter, as a magazine reporter. So I actually worked as a journalist. Now, it is not a given that having
Mm.
been a journalist, you must be a writer. Writing is a calling, it is a gift. So whether you are a medical doctor, my daughter who I said read medical sciences, she's written a book. She wrote her first book again when she was, I think when she was like 9. She was 9 years old or so. It's a published book. I mean, it's out there. It was first published by Farafina, actually. So it's, if you have the gift of writing or you have the call, okay, call, this is not a Christian forum. If you have the if you have the gift of writing, or you have a message, or you have something you think the world should know. And let me just digress and say that inside of every human being, there's at least 5 books. Every human being, even the madman you see on the street, there are at least 5 books. Okay. So it's not that, oh, okay, I didn't read English literature, I cannot write or something like that. For me, it was going to be a natural progression. I'd written as a child. I read a lot of books, and then I became a journalist, which gave me kind of the confidence that I needed to be in the public space. From journalism, I entered the international NGO world. So I was kind of an international civil servant, or a diplomat, if you like, for many years. And then I now went into other things, management, business. I helped my husband with his computer business. I worked in an oil servicing company. But you see, while I was doing all of those things, my writing was calling me, you know. So sometime in 2000, and I think it was 2007, I realized that, look, it's about time I started taking this desire seriously. At that time, whenever I wrote my CV, I would put writing as one of my hobbies. But in 2007, 2008, I began to think that, you know what, this thing is beyond a hobby. Let me do something about it. So I published my first book in 2009, I think. No, 2010. My first book was published in 2010. And from then on, more or less, I just didn't look back anymore. And then in 2013, I sat down with my husband and I said, you know what? I'm not doing any other thing. Writing is my number one now, and everything else will have to just follow and fit in somehow. So yeah, in a nutshell, that kind of is my path to writing. And I have been writing. You mentioned
Amazing,
that I've done,
amazing.
yeah. And I've done more than 4 books, coach. I think I've done about 12 books.
Wow. Oh, wow. Because I said, to my knowledge, we are the ones that you
Yes.
mentioned in the academy,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
amazing. So this leads us to the next question. Those 4 books that I have are, number one, I have them here with me. Twilight Dawn, right?
Twilight at Dawn. Twilight at
Twilight
Dawn.
at Dawn, sorry. Has
Yeah.
done 5,000 plus copies. Warrior Chronicles has
Yes.
done 100 plus copies. Clarity versus Reality has done 300 plus copies. And Good Rivers has done 4,000 plus copies. So which amongst these books, from my knowledge here, I'm seeing Twilight at Dawn has done 5,000 plus copies, but I don't know if it has overtaken it. So as at the time you shared this with me was about 2-3 months ago. So I may be old with the statistics at the moment. So what's your best-selling book at the moment?
Incidentally, my best. Okay, so let me explain why I put only those 4 books, because those were the books that were public. Those were the sales between when I did your book with Cell Academy to now. I try to be very honest in my dealings, and I wanted to put the sales that had been directly impacted by my participation in the academy. So that's why I put those books. Yeah. So in terms of looking at that, I would say Twilight at Dawn has done the most. I'm not quite current, but I think as at now we've done close to 6,000 copies.
Wow.
And it would have been more, but for most of this year I've actually been quite ill. I've been dealing with issues in my health. In fact, since Christmas 2020, I've been just one thing after the other. But from the end of March till maybe like till this week, let me say, I've been very able. So a lot of book orders I've not even been able to attend to. This morning I spent 2 hours in the gym going through rehabilitation exercises, which is why I'm looking all shiny, all shiny. So that's it. So what Twilight has sold close to 6,000 copies. Warrior Chronicles has done a little over 100 copies. It's one of my favorite books actually because it's small, it's funny, it's. And then Clarity versus Reality has done maybe like about 500 plus copies. I don't know what the fourth book is there. Okay, Gold River. Gold River did 4,000 plus copies last year in September. I think between August and September, I did about 4,000 plus copies. And then I stopped promoting. And I stopped applying the things I learned in the academy. So the momentum died, And like you always told us in the academy, you must keep talking about your books. You have to keep talking about them. It's your product. It's your baby. You can't deliver the baby and just leave the baby there. So I kind of have left the babies there. But yeah, Twilight has done the most.
That's
In terms of sales.
amazing. Yeah, because the date that you wrote there was between August 2020 till now. And I think that was at the time that you were part of the academy. Okay, so the next question is this. What 3 to 4 strategies have you utilized to be able to sell these books? We would like to know what strategies did you put in place, maybe what you've learned in the academy and somewhere else, that you put in place to be able to make this number of sales. Because trust me, 6,000 plus for a book of fiction is huge. I mean, it is something huge. It's not beans at all. People struggle. People struggle to do 1,000 copies. I mean, some do 1,000 copies in 1 year, but you've done 5,000 in about a year. Yeah. How are you 6,000 plus? So what did you do to be able to achieve these feats?
Okay, so I will talk first about what the academy did for me, the things I took from the academy. For us writers, especially if you write from a position of pleasure, not with the actual intention to make money. I see now people who deliberately write because they want to make money. For some of us, we wanted to write just because. If you ask me, I tell you that woe is me if I do not write. Okay, so for people like me, and I say people like me because I have a number of writing friends, and it's the same challenge they face. We tend to not see our books as products. Okay, we tend to not see them as products, and that's the biggest thing the academy did for me. You taught me to see my book as a product, as something I didn't need to be ashamed of. The academy taught me to be proud of my work. Now, I like my writing, I love my writing, but I used to feel like it wasn't cool to be pushing my book, to be marketing my book, to be seen as being proud of I was proud of it in the academic sense, but in the sense of that thing you used to do, like carry my book on my head and say, come and buy book. That wasn't something for me. It was like, oh no, I've written the book. Oh no, it's there. So I had this mindset that if you write a good book, the readers would find it. But I quickly found out that it's not true. There are millions of books being written every day. So if you write your book and people don't know about it, if it's not in the face of the reader, how are they going to buy it? And then there's something that is very common in our country. We write books and then we do a big launching. Now, in 2008, I wrote a book. The title of the book is God Is Not Here. Fantastic book, coach. Fantastic book. You need to read it. Awesome book. Okay. And then I attempted to do a launching. It was a flop. Like it flopped It flopped so bad. A few of my friends from church came, got some copies. In fact, I was so embarrassed. I said, I'm never going to do another book launching. Weeks later, somebody made mention and said something like, imagine, look at the book launching you even did, how bad it was. I felt so ashamed. So when you came out with this academy, I went into this academy like a drowning person. I said to myself, I said, look, Elsie,
Wow.
if you are going to continue writing, you must continue selling. And you can't sit down without adequate marketing knowledge. So I went into your academy, and I saw that a lot of the people were talking about non-fiction books and all. And then there was a day you invited one man. I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name. He's in the military.
Alexander.
And
Alexander.
yeah, he mentioned how he tied his books to projects. I think he had built a house, he had done this, and I was like, oh wow, look at my fellow fiction writer, and he's doing so much with his work. So that set me thinking, and I sat down. I had a notebook. In fact, the notebook is somewhere, is within. Okay, I had a big notebook where I was taking this book. There are more than, it's a notebook of over 100 pages. So I was taking notes during the academy, and I realized that
Wow.
what I needed to do, two things I needed. You asked me about strategies. Two things I needed. One, I needed a strategy, a system for selling the book. I used to be involved in network marketing, and I know that in network marketing, for you to succeed, you need a system. But somehow I couldn't apply it to my books. But now I realized that one, I needed a system, and then two, I needed to focus. So if anyone would ask me what I took away from the academy, it's not necessarily a question of 4, 5, 3, 4 things. I took away focus, I took away strategy, I took away system building. And these were the things that I used that helped me. These were the things that I used. I had to be laser focused, on knowing that if this book is going to sell, it is up to me to sell the book. So, and then I had to realize that, look, you know what, you need a system. It's not just being focused. If you are focused and you don't have a system, in fact, you can't be focused on nothing. You must have a system you are focused on. So my strategy was to focus on a system that I had identified for selling fiction books. And believe me, it has worked for me. And I think it's going to work for me for many years to come. Not to sound immodest, but I think that the least number of books I will sell every year will be 5,000 copies. The year I don't sell books, I will sell 5,000 copies.
Amazing. Amazing, man. So I know you mentioned about a system. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know if you can share this system with us, because somebody will be like, okay, system. What does she mean by that? You said something specifically. I've identified a system that works for me. Somebody will like,
Yes.
what's the system? If you can share
Mm.
specifically, because you know me, I always like to take the things that are complex and break them into very simple ways so that people can understand.
Yes.
If you can share with us what the system is all about, and maybe a few of the things that you did. Yeah, I would love absolutely what the academy has done. Maybe did you dance on the road, or did you did you beg
I did
people,
something
or
close
did
to
you go to the
dancing on
car
the road.
park? Something like that. So let's know the system and some of the things you did. That could help someone who's listening right now.
Okay. I mean, this is a mechanism. You always give more value than people pay for. So if you have me on your show, I have an obligation to give more value than people pay for. So the first question I ask myself is, what's the easiest way to get your fiction book sold in a large number of copies? Because see, after listening to that man, I didn't want to be selling one copy. You sell one copy today, you sell another one. So I wanted to sell in blocks of 100, 200, 500, 1,000. And I realized that if you want to sell like that, the easiest place to do it is schools. Okay. The biggest consumer of non-fiction books in Nigeria, at least, is schools. So schools was my system. But the strategy, if you find that the schools that would buy books from you most of the time, private schools, they'll tell you, okay, bring 5 copies of your books, bring 10 copies of your books, bring, if you are lucky, they'll say, bring 100 copies of your books. And then you take the books to them, they buy them, and then 6 months later, they tell you, oh, we have not finished selling them. I will sell them, we'll give you your book now. I didn't want that kind. I've been doing that and I didn't want it. So I asked myself that, is it possible to get a single large buyer of my books so that in any given year, I can say that, okay, you know what, every August, I sell books worth, I make profit. I'm talking profit. I'm not just talking sales. I make profit of 1 million naira at least once a year. And that 1 million naira, maybe I'll use it to go on holiday. Maybe I'll help my husband with school fees. Maybe I'll use it for rent. Can I have book sales that I can say I did this with my books? Because let me tell you the truth, coach. Most authors, even the ones who say they've sold 100 copies, they've sold 200 copies. They can hardly say this is what they've done with the money because the sales trickle in. And I didn't want trickling in sales are good, okay? But I also wanted bulk sales. I wanted to be able to say, I have 5 million naira from profit from books I have sold. So I sat down, I looked at the Nigerian landscape, and I realized that the biggest buyer of books is the Nigerian government. The government is the biggest buyer of books in Nigeria. Okay, they buy books. Government buys books for schools every single year, no matter what is happening. So that was my system. That was what I focused on, and I worked it and pushed down every wall. Like you said, I nearly danced on the streets, but I did everything I could to make sure that I get into that system. It's more or less like it's almost like a secret society. People don't tell you this is what they do, this is how to get in. But I pushed and pushed, and my push was that if that man, you say his name is Alexander, if Alexander could make sales of 3 million and then build house with it, I wanted to make sales of 5 million, 2 million, 3 million. I wanted to be able to say that every year I sell X number of, I sell X amount, I make X amount of profit from book sales. Because when you're able to do that, then when the trickles come, you can say, oh, okay, like right now I have an order on my table for 90 copies of my books from a state. And normally an author would be so excited, oh, 90 copies, you will jump up and down, So that's the system that I used. I got into that space of being able to sell my books in bulk to government at least once every year. And what happened with Twilight at Dawn was after I think the first order was for about 3,700 copies, something like that. They took it, and then when they saw the quality, they kept asking for it. Oh, can we have more? Can we have more? Can we have more? So that's how come that within a month, I think within 6 weeks, we did about 4,000 plus. And then some others came in, and now it has slowed down a bit because, like I said, I've been ill. So now we're getting orders like, oh, we want 200 copies, we want 300 copies, and that is slow, So that's the strategy I used, and since we're bearing it all, I was able to at least, I know that I didn't make less than 1 million naira at a go profit. I'm not saying sales, I'm saying profit from that book. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you very much for being that open and sharing. I think somebody who has taken that value and that strategy can run with it and go to execute. We are all in different states, so go and find your governor, go and find your member or senator or whatever, so that you can make the connection. Okay, so that brings me to the next question. Marachi, okay. That brings me to the next question, which is what I've asked a lot of people. How can we get to buy your book? How can we connect to you? How can we reach you to buy copies of your books?
So I have a website, www.elsiewright.com. I'm on Facebook as Elsie Dennis Ogenekaro. My books are in a few bookstores, quite a number of bookstores. Unfortunately, I didn't make the list, so I don't have it with me. But the easiest, I'm on Instagram as Born to Write Well. The easiest way to reach me actually is on Facebook. I find that of all the social media platforms, Facebook is my favorite. I've been on Facebook since 2006 or so. So it's where I'm
It's
most
the same thing with
comfortable. I
me.
mean,
The same thing
aha,
with me, man.
Facebook now my parlor. So when I'm there, I mean I'm totally comfortable. I also have a lot of my books on Okada Books. I have my books on Amazon. And talking about Amazon, I have quite a followership in the US, which is quite interesting. My book, Warri Chronicles, I think has sold almost as much in the US as it has sold in Nigeria. But this is what happened, and this is what I usually tell people who say, "Oh, I publish," and the first place where they are publishing is on Amazon. I tell them that look, on Amazon there are hundreds, millions of books being published, hundreds every
Exactly.
minute. So if your book is there, it doesn't mean that it will sell. It will not sell. So
Mm-hmm.
my books that have sold in the US, my books that have sold on Amazon have sold primarily from my classmates who are in North America. So they buy the book, sometimes they leave a review, and then they tell another person. And then maybe somebody sees a review on Facebook and then they go and look for it. So in terms of marketing, my biggest platform has been Facebook, and that's the easiest place to get my books. I met Don, I met you on Facebook. I mean, it was on Facebook I
Exactly.
met you. So yeah, so Facebook is my marketplace, and I think it will be for a long time to come. I've never done Facebook ads. I'm thinking of doing now to market my courses, because I took another of your courses and then I built a course and then I
I
built a
remember.
course, which, yeah. So yeah, Facebook, you want to get my book, Facebook is the easiest place. Just send me an inbox or make a post and tag me, and I'll get the books to you. And I recently just started something. I started doing my own book printing. So I do what is called short run printing now for my novels. So if you want 100 copies of my novels, whereas before I would run around and go and meet my printer and say, okay, can I print 5,000 copies or 1,000 copies? Now, no, now you want 100 copies. By the following day, you can have them, because now I have my own printing facility right in my office.
Wow, that's amazing. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, the next question is this. I love all the way you've been sharing, and people love. I can see some comments that are popping up. Deborah is saying, "Thank you, ma, for being detailed." Ngozi, yeah, Ngozi was the woman that I interviewed before you. So she's
Yeah.
saying, "Well done, ma'am. That is great." James, Lucky
Mm-hmm.
James is saying, "Wow, that's really amazing." Bruno Kema is saying, "This is really enlightening. Thank you for this." Lucky James is also saying, "That's a great statistic." So, the next question is this, which is also what I ask you: Why did you join your book sell academy?
I said the primary reason was I didn't like where I was with my career. Remember I told you that for me, writing is like a call. It is my purpose. Woe to me if I do not write. I must write. And I can't write for only me. There was a time I was writing for an audience of one. So I joined your book with Sell Academy for two primary reasons. One, I wanted to grow my readership. Okay. Beyond making money, I want to grow my readership. I want people to read my books. I want, I do not necessarily want to be Chinua Achebe, but I want people to know that this woman lived, she wrote this book, and it had this value. So I needed, and I have always been, or I had always been a terrible marketer. Remember, I said I used to be very shy. So I used to be so
Yes.
shy. I knew that I needed something. And when they mentioned to me that there's something, an academy called, no, first it was the book. They said, Mechanobis is selling a book. The book, the title of the book is Your Book Will Sell. And I rolled my eyes. I'm like, these Nigerians have come. Which one is Your Book Will Sell? Please just leave me alone. You know, I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, please, 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 I beg. I don't want all these aspire to aspire things, So, but a friend of mine, Lala, we'll call him the apostle, he insisted, he said, I think you need to get this book. So I said, how much is it? And he said, 5,000. I was like, me, pay 5,000 for a book whose title is Your Book Will Sell. I said, please, leave me alone. But he said, no, you need to think about it. You really, and I said, okay, well, 5,000. Yeah, 5,000. 5,000 naira will not kill me. So I ordered for the book. Now, the interesting thing is, when I placed order for the book, maybe because I'm in Abuja, I don't know, it took a really long time for the book to be delivered. I think it took over a month or so. But you know what? By the time the academy started, in fact, I didn't know what the book was going to teach me anymore. I was like, wow. In fact, I was hiding my face. I was like, gosh, did I pay only 5,000 naira for this? So I joined the academy, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, like somebody who was drowning. I needed a method. I needed a strategy. I needed to know what I was doing wrong. I needed to have something. I needed knowledge that now I'm a consumer of knowledge. That's something with me. I consume knowledge. I read books. I do things. But I also know that if you do not have a system, if you do not have a strategy, no matter how much knowledge you consume, it will just be useless. So I joined the academy primarily to get a system to fill in my knowledge gap. I knew I was not a good marketer. I was a good writer. I am a good writer. But hey, it's not just about being a good writer. I know, you know what, coach? It's not just about making money from writing, okay? Because there are several ways to make money from writing. I do biographies, I do ghostwriting. And while you have me on here, I never do a ghost writing project for less than 1.5 million naira. I don't, because it's a lot of work to get into somebody's head and write the book as that person. If you come to me and say, oh, you have a book you want to do, and you want to pay me 60,000, I'll tell you, I'm hungry, but please keep it. I won't do it. So it was beyond making money. I wanted to be a best-selling author, and I didn't know how. So Your Book Will Sell Academy provided me with the know-how. And let me confess, I have not used 10% of what I learned from that academy. 10%. I've not used 10% of what I learned. 2021, I thought was going to be the year of my exploding and using all the strategies. But like I mentioned, my health has not been where it should be. But I'm really grateful to God. By the time I start using all the strategies I got from that academy, oh la la, watch out for me. Watch out for me. Maybe I'll be doing 5,000 copies in 1 month.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's
Amazing.
why I joined the academy. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, guys. So if you've got questions, please drop. I can see some people who are sharing some feedback that they are getting. If you've got questions, please drop in the comment section right now. As we begin to wrap up, we've done 39 minutes already. As we begin to
Oh
wrap the
wow.
session, so if you've got questions, please drop your questions in the comment section so that she can answer before we wrap up on the session. We usually do between 45 minutes to 50 minutes, and we have about 10 minutes left. So if you've got questions right now, and please share this video as you're watching now. Share the video, share it on your timeline. Let other people, maybe they can watch the replay, but they can easily also equally join us right now and watch this session that we're having right now. So my final question is this. I know you've gotten some kind of great value from the academy. The academy is opening again on the 3rd because I open it twice a year, December and July. So we're opening it up again on the 3rd of December. What advice would you give? Maybe anybody who's watching this video, who's watching our session right now, and they are contemplating, they are thinking, is this academy for me? Some individuals feel it's just for authors alone. Some feel that it's for special beings, they're contemplating, they are thinking, should I join or should I not join? What's your piece of advice for them?
Okay, so incidentally, this morning I saw a message from a lady I respect thoroughly. She was my first writing coach many years ago, and she said that she lives in the US, that she's heard about this Emeka Nobis and is your book we sell academy. That what do I think? Should she join? So I'm going to answer this question. Coach, I have a private discussion concerning that person after this interview. I'll send that to you on WhatsApp. But I want to say to you, if you are watching this broadcast, by the way, Coach, the course that I did in one of the modules, I put there that people should buy your book we sell and join your academy. I put it there. It's part of my course and it's part of my book on writing. So what I would say is I got a lot of value, a lot more value than what I paid for. But I also know that it's not everybody that gets value from something. But if you join this academy and you do not get value, let me tell you straight up, it will not be because Emeka Nobis did not provide value. It would only be because maybe that's not what you need. Maybe that's not the kind of value you need. But if you are looking for strategies for sales, if you are looking for strategies for growing readership, if you are looking for strategies for growing your audience, if you are looking for strategies for growing your influence as an author, as a writer, then I definitely think you should sign up for your Book We Sell Academy. It's not money wasted. It's not one of those things that Nigerians advertise and then you pay for, and then you're just like, well, I just threw that money away. And I've paid for a lot of those courses over the years. I pay for things, sometimes it's 1,000. There's one I paid for last week or 2 weeks ago. It was 1,000 naira. So when it was rubbish, I was like, what? This, I was walking along the street and this 1,000 naira fell. So let me not feel bad, But this academy is not like that. It provides real value. And beyond the value it provides connections. You get connected to people. For instance, you don't know me, but watching this today now, you know me. You can say, oh, okay, so let me confess, it was from this academy I started following Steve Harris. It was from this academy I started following Paul Fo. So there are a lot of things you can gain that is beyond just selling your books. And another thing is the strategies I learned from this academy, I even use them for marketing my fish. Okay. I use them for marketing the other things that I do. I'm also a business consultant. I use them for things. I trained as a public speaker, and I see how I'm a resource person for 1 or 2 organizations in public speaking. And I see how you are doing your thing. Sometimes I come to your wall and say, okay, what value can I get today from Emeka Nobis? So I think people should not think twice about joining this academy. 50,000 naira, that's $100. Actually, if you are buying from the black market, that's less than $100. I know because of how the economy is right now, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but it is still worth it. It's money well spent. The only thing I would say is that when you spend that money, be ready to learn. I told you one of the things I did, just a second, was to get a big notebook. It's a very heavy notebook. And I was writing down things every day when the academy was going. My husband would be reminding me, look, your academy, your this, your that. I would say, please, nobody should make noise. I was serious about it. I was intentional about it. So I think it's Emeka Nobis. I think it's a good deal. Maybe I should come and partner with you. I'll do the Abuja branch.
Yes. Of course, man.
But definitely, it is a good deal. It's a good brand. And I can't say it enough.
Okay.
Emeka Nobis delivers value. He does.
Thank you very much, ma. I'm very grateful. So Bruno is asking, what genre of fiction do you write, and how did you get to decide your target audience? I don't know if you can see it right there on your screen, but it's asking me.
I
Yeah.
can see.
Okay. Go
I
ahead.
can see it.
Okay. Cool.
Now that's a question that is always a bit challenging for me to answer. So okay, let me tell you what I don't do. I find it challenging to write romance, so I'm not a very good romance writer. Okay, about I think 2 or 3 times now I've set out to write romance and they've ended up as action books. So me, I've just concluded that I'm not very good with romance. So I don't write books that are sexually explicit. The books that I have sold the most of have been books that my daughter calls aspire to perspire, according to her. They are books that take lessons from everyday events in Nigeria, and then I build stories around them, non-threatening stories. Because I'm somebody who I believe that writing can change a lot of things. Twilight had done, for instance, talks about teenage pregnancy and dropping out of school and second chances and things like that. Okay, so that's more or less what I do. But I'm not. I don't like being boxed in. I have a book on the military. My book, God is Not Here, is written about the Niger Delta, about the oil, whatever. But it's a very military book. It's an adventure book. There's another book I'm writing now, which I probably would release. I'm not sure I'll release it again this year, maybe next year. It talks about corruption in Africa. It's set in Africa, in Nigeria, in Ethiopia, Togo, Canada, all kinds of places. So asking what genre I write is a bit, it's too broad a question for me. I write everything. And I also have a lot of nonfiction. Clarity versus Reality is a non-fiction book. And that is one awesome and amazing book. Sorry, Coach, I'm using your platform to market, but we're coming to the end of the year. I think everyone should get a copy of Clarity versus Reality.
No problem at all. Yeah. One of the things I even wanted to ask is, a lot of individuals feel that they should either do fiction, non-fiction, and I have done fiction before. Now it itself, which is my book, is a non-fiction, is a fiction book. I have done poetry before. Steve Nipple, which is the title of my poetry, my book of poems. And I've done a lot of non-fiction. So you have done fiction too, you have done non-fiction. So I think people should not be stifled, they should not be boxed, from giving their expressions in different forms, because people are looking for this. Anyway, my strength lies a whole lot more in writing non-fiction, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't write fiction. I've done fiction. I'm even thinking of doing another book of fiction again, in maybe in 1 year or 2 years to come. But so people asking this, they just want to be fixated. You get what I mean? So it's a good thing.
And Coach, just
asking
to
the academy.
help
No,
you.
the academy is not. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just to help you. My non-fiction book, the first day I released it, I sold about 200 copies within 2 hours. Now, what happened? I took the books with me to an event where I was. I took the books with me to an event where I was the main speaker. Is it main speaker? The keynote speaker. And the books were taken up. And the organization that invited me took about, took about 60 copies of the book. So the strategies would work even for non-fiction books. You can actually sell non-fiction books to government as well. So it's not as if, after all, people use textbooks in schools that are non-fiction. If you write a book if you write a physics textbook, that's not fiction now, So it's not the genre you're writing in that makes you sell. It is the methods and the strategies you use, which is why you need to be a member of your Books to Sell Academy. This person says they are considering
Amazing.
joining the academy. Don't
So
consider. Go and borrow money and join.
I've, this same Lucky James, last year when I was starting the academy, I told him to join. Then it was 5,000. We opened again. He
Yeah.
was asking. Now he's still asking again and again. Anyway, I don't know. Lucky James, it's all your decision. If you decide to join this time around, that's fine. But the thing is that know that next year it will still be the same amount. It will keep increasing. So if you want to join now, because if it's a one-time payment, you enjoy for life. Whatever it is that we're bringing to the academy, you're not paying anything. Nothing else that you're paying. You have access to ask your questions in the academy. You get value from me and other individuals who are part of it. So if you're still deciding, I don't know, you have taken 1 year already and you've seen the results that other people have gotten. It's all in your choice right now. So he's asking a question too. I'm really amazed with her presentation. Will she be open for a podcast interview on marketing fiction books? I don't know.
Oh,
But
sure. Why
maybe you
not?
can answer.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
So
You
that's
can. Yeah, sure. No problem. Reach out to me and we'll work something out.
oh, that's fantastic. So you are open to those invitations. That's fine. Okay, so I think I have another question here. Somebody's asking, what's the average word count for your best-selling books?
I'm not sure I have those figures in my head, but on the average, each page of my books, on the average, I do about 300, between 300 to 350 words per page. And I know Twilight at Dawn is about 90 pages, 88 to 90 pages. So you do the math. Sorry, I don't know math. You can do the math. 300 words times 80 something or 90 pages. But hey, it doesn't really matter. The only thing I would tell you, if you are talking word count, if you write a book of 500 or 600 pages, it will be difficult to sell it to government. It will be difficult because literature books or even textbooks are not that big. So if you think you need to write a voluminous book, so I would say between 40 to 50,000 words is fine. Okay. My present book, which is not a book I'm going to sell to government, it's going to be in the public space. My aim is 50,000 words. I'm at 40 something thousand now. Good, big books are good, but with social media, I find that people are impatient. People don't want to read a book of 10,000 pages,
Exactly.
1,000 pages. When I was in secondary school, I liked those big books, Robert Ludlum, John Grisham, big. But now, who has the time to read? Once a book has crossed 200-300 pages, people won't finish it. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to sell a book, do a book of 100, 150 pages, and you'll be comfortable selling, and then you can write the next one and write the next one and write the next one. Don't be a one author champion. Okay? Do a one book champion. Do as many books as you can.
So Peace John Brown, you're asking how much the academy is 50,000 naira only or $100. So if you want to pay, reach out to me. If you want to have conversations, if you want to understand, I'm putting out a link right now in there, so it will show you everything that you have to know about the academy. So it is bit.ly/YBWS conversations. So if you click that link, it's going to show you. It's purely automated to show you everything that you need to know about the academy and how to sign up. It's 50,000 naira. We're opening up payments on the 3rd of December. So immediately we open up 3rd of December, we start paying and we shut it down. Anybody who pays on the 18th of December, I will whack the money and I will not give you access to the academy. So between 3rd, that's me. That's how I am. So I'm telling people now, join between 3rd and 17th. If you pay on the 18th, that's 12 midnight on the 17th, and it's 12:01 a.m. and you pay that money, I will eat it, I will spend it, and you can go to court. That's how it is. So
you use it for Christmas.
Yes, so between the 3rd of December and the 17th of December, have your money ready, pay, and you'll be given access to the academy, right? So that's how much it is. Deborah, I think Deborah has been paying instrumentally. I think she's the one that she paid 10,000 naira. I can't remember. and then she paid another 20K. Now she has 20,000 left, and before we start out, she has finished her payment. That's how to know someone who is intentional. Lucky James, you are
Yeah.
still smiling at will. It's your choice. You have been there since 2020, watching, looking, asking questions, but they don't want to dive in. It's your choice. By next year again, maybe you still asking the same questions. So dive in and have your access. So, guys, I think we have come to the end of this session. Thank you very much, Ma. If you got a few things to say before we call it a wrap on this session, let me know. Thank you very much, Ma. So give
Okay.
us your final few words so that we can call it a wrap.
All right. The final thing I want to say is that if you are interested in writing and you have never authored a book, actually, I think you are luckier than people who have written several books before joining the academy. Because what I found, especially in reading your book we sell, the book itself, what I found in reading it is that if you have never written a book, you can actually read that book and be able to write a book from there. So don't think it's just for people who have authored books. If you have never authored a book, you can actually still join this book. The advantage you will have is that from day one, from even before you write your book, you can actually start making money. So that's the final thing that I want to say. And again, Emeka Nobis delivers value. He will answer your questions. You will get to connect with a lot of people. Generally, you will get value.
Thank you very much. So, Bruno, duration, you don't have a duration. You enter and study as you at your pace. Some individuals have just watched, that have been there and they attended just 5 sessions and they were able to make a lot of money. That place is like university. There's no ending. You
Yeah,
just keep loading yourself. Go back there,
yeah.
watch, go back there, just like that. So your access is for life. So don't think that after a few months I'll throw you out. No, once you pay, you are in there. You watch at your pace. You can decide to start today, start tomorrow. Everything is there for you to consume. Okay. So don't
Mm.
think 2 weeks and then you are scrambling to be able to finish. No, that's not how the place is. So get in. Is a community. We are always there. As long as I'm alive, I'm pushing and we are evolving. It's something